let's see. Oh yeah, this is the murder case, correct? Ah yes, Arthur Ward. You are charged with murder in the first degree. Victim, J.J. Jackson. Charged with driving the victim and his car off the road to his death. Well, that could be a death sentence with your record. Burglary and assault, and several convictions for harassment. You've served some time for these as well. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Speak up, please. Make sure the court understands your plea.
Sorry, sir. I mean, Your Honor, sir. I didn't do it. I mean, I'm not guilty, sir.
Very well. Looks like we're not done yet. This court is adjourned. We'll meet again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp, when the further procedures will start. All be seated. Well, let's get started. If there's no further evidence to be declared, the people may start to make their case, and the listed witnesses shall be interviewed.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of the people, I, McCoy, will bring the perpetrator to justice. The accused, Arthur Ward, is a murderer. On April 1st this year, 2012, he killed J.J. Jackson for driving his car off the road. J.J. Jackson was out with his friend Carlos Espinosa and the cousin of his, Ricardo Espinosa. When he brought them home, they saw a minute later a car driving off. J.J. Jackson in his Land Rover was chased at high speed by Arthur Ward's vehicle. The witnesses saw the license plate and managed to get a good view of the driver. This was indeed Arthur Ward. They called 911 immediately and also positively identified Ward to be the driver. Forensic experts and car mechanics have certified this chain of events. Ward is a dangerous killer, and every day he does not spend in prison is a danger to our society.
Does the defense have anything to add?
Respected members of the court and the jury, what the plaintiff has just told you is far from the truth. My defendant didn't kill anyone, especially not J.J. Jackson. He might have a temper at times, but he's definitely not a killer. He could not have been the killer because on the 1st of April he lent his car out to a friend. So he could not have been, and there's no evidence that he was at the crime scene itself. He discovered the damage to his car in the morning and went to report it to the police himself. Now why would a guilty man undertake such an act? And also the witnesses were unreliable because it was dark and the car was driving fast according to them. So they could not have recognized my defendant.
May the jury take these opening statements into consideration. This court is adjourned. We'll see each other tomorrow morning when the people and the defense will make their cases. All be seated. Let's see. Ah yes, the cases are to be made today. Did the defense have enough time to prepare their case?
We have, Your Honor.
Very good. If there is no further evidence to be declared, the people may start to make their case and the listed witnesses shall be interviewed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do not have much to add to the opening statement of yesterday. So I shall walk through the events again, through interviewing of the witnesses. May I ask the witnesses Carlos and Ricardo Espinosa to step forward? Do you swear on the Holy Bible to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
So, Carlos, tell me what happened on the 1st of April 2012.
Well, sir, ma'am, it went kind of like this.
Kind of. Please be specific, sir.
Sorry, sir, I meant like this. Me and Ricardo and little JJ went out for a drink last night. And little JJ had a fight with his girlfriend.
About what?
I would rather not say.
I want the truth, damn it!
I didn't mean to put it so bluntly. So we had a drink with JJ, who was still sober by the way, and he offered to drive us home. When we got home, he said goodnight and he drove off. Then we saw another car chase him at high speed, and we got suspicious, so we wrote the number down, and then we called the police.
Did you manage to see the driver?
Yes, sir, indeed. It was Mr. Ward over there. After we went running after the cars and just over JJ in the ditch. And that was what we saw.
Aha. So you saw Mr. Ward after the accident. Well, thank you. That was all.
Does the defense have anything to add?
Well, Your Honor, I would like to inquire to the exact number of drinks the witnesses and the victim had that night.
Objection!
Overruled. Please continue.
Well, I had 2 beers, Ricardo I think 3, and JJ only 1. I think that says enough for the reliability of the witnesses. No further questions.
Are you Ricardo Espinosa, the cousin of Carlos Espinosa?
Yes, I am. Carlos is my little brother.
Can you identify the driver as Arthur Ward?
Yes, the driver was Arthur Ward. He said he was finally getting together with someone he really liked. Well, as it turned out later, that was the wife of Arthur Ward, the suspect. When he dropped us off, we saw a car chasing him, and we got suspicious, so we called the police.
And what car was Arthur Ward driving?
It was one of those SUVs, as you call them. It was like a Land Rover, but not the actual brand. The license plate was 111 AAA.
Well, it was my job to investigate the car wrecks and see what was wrong with them. You see, I know a lot about cars, so I took a long look at them, and they exactly match with the car wrecks. So we can say that the car was pushed off the road. So the way the cars were wrecked, it wasn't by accident. At the tire wreck seen at the scene, we could deduct that there was a pushover. So Mr. Ward slammed his car into the other one and then pulled off. The other car was so damaged and it hit a tree, so the front door was completely crashed, and yeah, it was a wreck. Yeah, that was happened. I'm an expert, remember?
Mr. Olberg, what can you tell us?
Well, I was given the assignment to handle and process the little forensic material that was present at the scene. What I found was that the victim, J.J. Jackson, had a percentage of ethanol in his blood that was below the legal limit. So he was good to drive that night. Also, there was no signs of other toxins in his blood, and all the trauma to his body was confirmed that was caused by the crash. So J.J. Jackson was perfectly healthy before the crash, which truly is what killed him. Most of the evidence about the crash itself was handed over to Mr. Orwell, so you should ask him.
Are you Rihanna Ward, Arthur's wife?
Yes, I am.
Did you have a relationship with J.J. Jackson?
Yes, I had an affair with him, but I still love my husband very much.
When you told your husband, was he mad?
Yes, very.
Did he put you out on the streets or something? Did he push you? Showed any violence?
He didn't show any violence towards me.
So he was very disappointed.
Yes.
And did he show any anger towards J.J. Jackson?
Not at the time.
But they were friends, right?
Yes, best friends.
And after that?
I don't know what happened.
Thank you, that was all.
If the defense has no further questions, then this court is adjourned. We will continue tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.